The big story in all of entertainment for the last 4.5 months has been the strikes. First, the writers went on strike, then the actors went on strike, and here we are now, over 4 months, 4.5 months into this strike, and for the first time ever, there might actually be a little glimmer of hope. The other day, we found out that the writers and the studios were sitting down for, I think, only the third time, and they were going to sit down yesterday and actually have negotiations face-to-face, which is great, right? But then news reports came out later in the evening that not only had the two sides agreed and put out a statement together, they put out, the studios and the writers, first thing they've done together, put out a statement, a joint statement saying they were going to meet again today. As a matter of fact, as we speak, as we're recording this video, the two sides are sitting down and meeting as we speak. And a report came out last night that sources inside the union and the studios are telling them there is a possibility a deal could be reached today. Take a look at this. So the headline started to run that Hollywood studios writers near agreement to end the strike and hope to finalize the deal Thursday, sources say. One of the insiders, of course, David Faber, said, after face-to-face meetings today, writers and producers near an agreement to end the WGA strike met today and hope to finalize a deal tomorrow. That's today. According to people close to the negotiations, who, while optimistic, warn that without a deal tomorrow, the strike will likely continue through the end of the year. Okay, so what that tells me is this. It sounds to me like they've got almost all their I's dotted and T's crossed. Remember, there was a laundry list of things that the WGA were looking for, and obviously a laundry list of things that the studios were looking for. And it sounds to me that probably most of those issues they've come to some compromises on. And it sounds like there's one or two issues left that they have some philosophical agreement, but aren't yet all the way there. And it sounds like they're saying they're either going to go in there today and say, yes, let's compromise on this, or they're both going to dig in their heels and say, nope, we want it our way. Too bad, writers. We want it all the way our way, or screw you, or vice versa. And they're going to walk away from the table and we're going to be stuck with this for another few months. Listen, there has been nothing in the last 4.5 months that has come close to sounding this positive, to sounding like there could actually be a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, I don't know what those final couple of sticking points might be. It sounded like they were starting to get closer together on base salaries. Sounded like they were at least getting closer before. So that's probably one of the issues they've settled. It sounded like the studios were moving more over to the WGA side as far as AI protection goes. Maybe, I'm guessing that's probably one of the issues they've all decided. And there's 7 or 8 or 9 of them. The two that I'm going to guess are still the big things are writer room minimum sizes. And even that one, I think they could probably come to an agreement on. The big one is going to be residuals, which is something we've talked a lot about, is what does residuals look like today? Because residuals mean something completely different today than it did even just 5 years ago. You can't take the old model of residuals and just say, apply it today. It doesn't work. How does that work? How does that look like? And maybe with them saying they hope to finalize a deal today, that maybe they've already got some basic agreement that, okay, today a residual, maybe both sides agree that now a residual means this instead of this. Okay, we can agree on that. Now, maybe we just got to figure out specific numbers and, like, okay, we agree that it means this now and it doesn't mean that anymore, but how much does that equate to us getting? Or how much does that equate to us having to give you or whatever? Maybe, again, I'm speculating, but I am hopeful that maybe by the time I have dinner today, by the time I shove that last bite of, veal parmesan in my gullet, we're going to find out that there's a new deal. And if that deal gets made, maybe that lays the groundwork for a SAG deal as well. I don't know. Chris, I'm choosing to be naively optimistic. You've read all the reports here.
It's a very new look for you.
Yeah, I know. I am choosing to be naively optimistic.
I don't know how I feel about it.
You hear about this. You're seeing the reports coming out of the outlets. What's happening? Are we going to get a deal? How optimistic do you feel? Are you still pretty pessimistic? I don't know. What are you thinking about all this? What's the big takeaway for you here? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Quip. Guys, you know that good health starts with good habits, and Quip makes it easy by delivering all the oral care essentials that you need to care for your mouth. For example, their incredible electric toothbrush. Guys, I've been using electric toothbrushes for years, and this is easily the best one I've ever owned. Timed sonic vibrations with 30-second pulses to guide a dentist-recommended 2-minute clean. A lightweight and sleek design for adults and kids with no wires or bulky charger to weigh you down. Reusable handles in a range of sleek metal hues, as well as bright plastic colors, sure to make a pop on your bathroom counter. Skip the batteries and snap into healthy habits with the new rechargeable electric toothbrush. All the features of the original Quip, plus one magnetic charge powers up to 3 months of brushing. In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, and gum refills every 3 months from just $7. So if you go to getquip.com/Campea right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, or water flosser. That's your 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, water flosser at getquip.com/Campea. That's GETQUIP.com/Campea. Quip, the good habits company.
The joint statement is the thing that gives me hope here.
Agreed.
Because there's been so much, we're not going to say anything. No, I'm going to go tell the media now. Oh, you shouldn't have told the media. That was so mean. It's been, schoolyard politics, kind of these kinds of like, this one's being a bully. This one's not listening to me. I'm going to go tell everyone. Doing this as a joint statement shows so much maturity on both sides, and that makes me really happy. CNN Business reported yesterday that we are inching closer to the writer and actor strike costing about $6 billion. We have passed the $5 billion threshold in what ultimately is going to be cost for all of these different signatories and all of these other, members of the economy.
Well, that wasn't just the signature. That was also like all the auxiliary industries and everything like that.
For New York, Chicago, all our big main hubs, right? So it was already going to cost that. We've reported on this show that Warner Brothers is looking at losing $500 million just themselves, right? I think a lot of this too is it's a lot easier to come back to the negotiating table after the people who you said, I can wait you out, went, try me. Try and wait me out. You are going to be the ones who are going to wait out. Let's see how that goes for you. Because at the end of the day, it's an entertainment industry. It's a business and money talks. So even though these are requests that are going to change the bottom line of what the industry is making and what executives are making, this has cost them so much money. Money that I don't think anyone anticipated losing because no one saw this lasting, 143 days? That's nuts. That's so long, and everyone thought this was going to be a blip, myself included. I was very naive at the beginning of this. It's going to last like 2 weeks. We learned our lesson in 2007.
That's what they said after World War I and entering World War II.
Man.
I thought at first it could last a while, but I kind of got more optimistic when the actors' strike was about to start, and the date that the actors' strike was supposed to start came, and the actors and the studio said, hey, we've mutually agreed to extend the deadline another week. That's when I got optimistic. I thought, they must be close to a deal, right? So they'll get that polished off, and then the directors have a deal, the writers have a deal. It'll pave the way for the writers to get there. Sorry, the actors and the directors have a deal. Mm-hmm. It'll pave the way. But then, of course, we saw no deal for SAG came, all this kind of stuff. By the way, I did see the report too. It goes both ways. I think it was Forbes that put out a number of how much they think collectively writers and actors have lost. Yeah. It's look, let's just put it this way. Everybody's lost a lot of money. Well,
and almost everyone's going to lose their insurance.
Yeah.
Unless you made a ton of money this year as an actor, which honestly just means you are an A-list actor, you lost your insurance this year. Because you didn't work for 60 some odd days and you have to make minimums to qualify for it. So a whole bunch of people, we are going to see the repercussions of this strike for so many months. Even if everything is resolved today, it is going to have this trickle out effect that is really upsetting because everyone loses at the end of the day.
There's a lot of blood on the floor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood on the floor. And I already know it's going to happen. A deal's going to get made, whether it gets made today or later. A deal's going to get made, and I can already tell you, a lot of people like myself and others are going to look at the deal and go, okay, this all seems rather reasonable. Why the fuck did it take you 4 months to agree to this? Because this all looks fairly reasonable. Like, I guarantee you that's going to happen at some point. But here's hoping. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I hope by the next time you hear me say the words, well, greetings and salutations, everybody, I'm hoping it's going to be to announce and usher in the fact that we've got a deal and maybe they can get this industry moving again We can only hope. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.